AXT the warp, undefined, not blackness. Blackness implies an absence of light. This is an oversaturation of everything, a roiling psychic ocean of pure weaponized emotion. Currents of sick purple hatred and diseased green despair miles wide flow past the lens. In the deep distance, impossible structures vast as solar systems form and crumble in an instant, colossal, screaming faces made of solidified agony, crystalline cathedrals of ecstatic pain, spiraling vortexes of pure, undiluted avarice. A sound exists here, but it is not heard. It is felt a continuous low-frequency psychic scream that presses against the mind. A voice deep, weary, and scarred by truth cuts through the chaos. It is the sound of a man who has seen the void and survived, but not unchanged. Voiceover. They lie to us when they call it space. It is the first and greatest deception of Imperial travel. Space is the vacuum, a cold, predictable void of mathematics and physics. It is measurable. It can be known. The view drifts following a river of iridescent blue, which is suddenly devoured by a swirling maw of crimson rage. Voiceover. This is not space. This is the Immaterium, the Empyrean, the Sea of Souls. We, in our arrogance, call it the warp. It is a dimension not of matter and energy, but of consciousness and consequence. A parallel ocean born from the collective thoughts, dreams, and above all the nightmares of every sentient race in the galaxy. A small, impossibly small spark of light appears. It is a pale, flickering blue-green, a single firefly in a hurricane that spans creation. Voiceover. Here hatred has physical weight. Here fear has a tangible form. Here every sin, every dark desire, every moment of terror and bliss congeals into a sentient, hungry reality. And in the deepest currents, they swim. The things we birthed, the gods of our own making. The small spark of light is the Dominus Fidelis. It doesn't glide. It lurches, it fights, it tears its way through the non-substance, leaving a fleeting wake of stability that is instantly consumed behind it. Voiceover. To travel here is not navigation. It is an act of supreme hubris. We do not sail through the warp. We blindfold ourselves, plunge into it, and pray the Leviathans do not notice our passing. Inti Dominus Fidelis, Cellar Field Generatorium, the heart of the ship. A vast cathedral-like chamber, cold and smelling of sanctified oils, ozone, and the faint metallic tang of fear. The only light is the pale, unsettling blue-green glow pulsing from the central machine. It is an ancient, massive construct of brass and iron, half reactor, half altar. Thousands of purity seals, vellum now cracked and yellow with age, hang from every pipe and conduit. The source of the sound is here, a deep, resonant thrum, 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 a heartbeat, a warding pulse. Voiceover. We hide behind a shield. Another lie. It is not a wall of adamantium. It is not a void shield that repels matter. It is something far more fragile. The camera moves past whirring dynamos and anointed pistons toward a dark alcove set into the far wall past the main reactor core. It finds a figure, or what was a figure, desiccated, skeletal, and fused into a throne of cables and nutrient tubes. This is the bound psyker. His eyes are long gone, burned out. His mouth is open in a permanent silent scream. A faint psychic halo the color of the Geller field flickers around his skull with every thrum of the machine. Voiceover. We call it a Geller field. In truth, it is a scream. A bubble of displaced reality projected from the tortured, amplified consciousness of a single soul. It is reality distilled into one unending, agonized concept. I exist. This is real. This is sane. Shouted into the abyss with enough force to hold back an ocean of madness. A tech priest. Magos Technicus Boar glides into view. He is more machine than man, his red robes stained with grease. His multiple mechadendrites, mechanical arms, move with inhuman precision, anointing a junction with holy oil, tightening a pressure valve, and checking a flickering data slate simultaneously. He stops tilting his metallic head. He listens to the thrum. Megaspore. Through a Vox synthesizer, a monotone rasp of static pulse variance at 0.0004%. Unacceptable deviation. The machine spirit is restless. He turns to a mind-wiped servitor, a lobotomized cyborg holding a smoking sensor. Megaspore, apply the litany of harmonic stability. Verse 3. Now. The servitor's own Vox grills crackle. Servitor applying litany. He is the light? Bohr turns back to his console, ignoring the drone. Voiceover. A bubble maintained by the suffering of one and the fanaticism of another. A single thin membrane of sanity. And that membrane, it is so very, very thin. AXT the warp continuous. The ship, the Dominus Fidelis, is revealed in its entirety. A Dauntless-class light cruiser. It is an ancient vessel scarred and pitted from 1,000 forgotten battles. It is not sleek. It is a brutalist block of angled armor plating gun turrets and engines shaped like a Gothic cathedral. Its hull is covered in desperate hand-carved script. Prayers, litanies, and names of lost worlds etched into the very metal by crews dead for millennia. It is a tomb ship traveling on an essential, desperate journey. INT Dominus Fidelis, main corridor. The eerie blue-green Geller light suffuses everything, giving the metal bulkheads a morgue-like pallor. The air is cold and recycled thick with the smell of incense and sweat. The only sound is the constant thrum, thrum, thrum of the distant generator and the groaning of the ship's ancient metal frame as it withstands impossible pressures. Two voidsmen wrapped in grubby fatigues pass each other. They don't make eye contact. They just nod, their faces pale. One, a young man, nervously traces one of the prayers carved into the wall. The other, an older, scarred veteran, slaps his hand away. Not hard, but firm. Veteran voidsman, don't. The young voidsman pulls his hand back, confused. Veteran voidsman, whispering, don't touch the wards, they're listening, always. Just say the prayers. Don't draw attention. He moves on his lips, moving silently, lulling himself with the litany of protection. Inti Dominus Fidelis, bridge. The bridge is a cavern of darkness lit only by the green glow of data slates and the ghostly blue light that filters in through the thick armored viewports. The command crew stands at their stations rigid, their faces illuminated from below. They are not looking at their screens. They are listening. Everyone is listening to the thrum. Voiceover. On a void ship, time is measured by duty shifts. In the warp, it is measured by heartbeats. The thrum of the field is our sun, our moon, our only god. We live in a constant, suffocating state of suppressed terror. The camera focuses on a single hairline crack in the center viewport. It is dark. Outside is only the blue-green shimmer of the Geller field pressing against the madness. The crack seems to vibrate infinitesimally with every beat. Voiceover. Every voidsman knows the truth deep in their bones, even if they never speak it. The void of real space is merciful. It kills you quickly. This place, it waits. It probes the bubble. It whispers. It looks for one single crack in our reality, in our faith. The thrum falters. Thrum, thrum! Silence. A single agonizing second of absolute, profound silence. On the bridge, every crew member freezes. Eyes widen. A helmsman's hand halfway to a control stops in midair. The blood drains from their faces. Voiceover. The horror is not if the field fails. Thorum. The beat slams back stronger than before. The blue-green light flares bright for a moment, then settles. A collective shuddering sigh whispers through the bridge. The helmsman completes his action, his hand shaking violently. No one speaks. Voiceover. The horror is when. The camera pushes past them toward the vibrating hairline crack in the viewport. Fade to black. Ent Dominus Fidelis, bridge. The thrum of the Geller field is the only constant. It is the floor, the walls, the air. Captain Arvus Valthi stands at the central command dais. He is a man in his late 60s but looks 80. His uniform is immaculate, but his face is a roadmap of exhaustion. He sips a cup of watered-down caf. He stares at the main viewport, which shows only the swirling, impenetrable blue-green energy of their reality bubble. Valthy to the Vox Navigator, your report. A burst of static, then the voice of Ilara Vane. It is strained, filtered as if coming from a great distance. She is sealed in her navigator's sanctum, high on the ship's spine. Ilara Vane VO. It is agitated, Captain. The currents are not flowing. They are congealing. Valther, his grip tightens on the cup. Define congealing, navigator. Ilara Vane VO. The Imperium is sluggish, resistant. We are not sailing through the stream, we are forcing our way through sludge. The Astronomican's light is distant. It flickers like a candle behind a waterfall of oil. Valthy obstructions. A long pause filled with static. Ilara Vane VO. Voice trembling slightly. I see shapes. Great, vast, unlooking things, Captain. They are turning in the dark. They are grazing. They feel our light, our small, warm reality. They are turning toward it. Valthy looks at his tactical officer, who pretends not to have heard. Valther, can we plot a course around them? Ilara Vane VO. Around what, sir? It is the ocean itself. I can hold the course, but it will be taxing. The strain on the containment will be significant. Valther, understood. Maintain your focus. The Emperor protects. Valthy out. He cuts the channel. The bridge is silent save for the thrum. Valther, to his helmsman, maintain standard velocity and double the prayer rotation on all decks. Einti Geller Field Generatorium continuous. The thrum is deafening here. It is a physical vibration that rattles the teeth. Magos Technicus Bor glides around the base of the massive generator. His red robes are spotless. His many-lensed optical sensors click and whir, scanning readouts that no human eye could comprehend. A console flashes a bright, angry red rune. A klaxon, a purely mechanical bell, begins to clang. Bor is instantly at the panel. His mechadendrites fly, one anointing the console with sacred oil, another typing a command sequence, a third replacing a smoking fuse. The bell cuts off. The rune dims to a stable green. Bor tilts his head, emitting a long stream of angry, hissing, binaric cunt. Magospor, via his Vox synthesizer 01010, 01001, 01012, 01010, 01011, 01010, 01001, 01010, 01011, 01010, 01010, 01010, 01010, 01051, 010, 01010, 01011, 01010, 01001, 0101, 0101. A servitor drones in response. Servitor, the machine, spirit, is placated. Margospor, his binaric becomes faster agitated. Placated, the machine spirit is insulted. Conduction relay 33 Alpha shows critical wear. Degradation is unacceptable. My requisition for a replacement part standard issue from Mars itself has been denied. Denied for 93 solar years. He slams a metal fist against the console. Megospor. They send us into the abyss armed with antiques and faith. They demand miracles from technology they no longer comprehend. The Omnissiah's logic is divine, but this is an equation unbalanced. The sum of failure approaches. He turns back to the generator, his tools clicking. He begins the long, complex ritual of realignment. And Dominus Fidelis, mid-deck berthing. It is cramped, smelling of sweat fur and recycled air. The blue Geller light is the only illumination making the men's skin look bruised. A squad of Imperial guardsmen being transported to a war zone are huddled around a small crate. They are gambling with dice carved from bone. Sergeant Krell, a broad, heavily scarred man, sits apart from them, meticulously cleaning his lasgun. He watches everything. A young guardsman, Varus, throws the dice. They clatter. Varus Emperor's teeth. Nothing, again. He scoops up the dice. As he does, he freezes. He looks around, his eyes wide. Varus, did you hear that? Guardsman 2. Hear what the thrum? It's all there is. Varus, no. Not the thrum. A whisper. Like wind through a crack. Krell's hands stop moving. He looks up, his gaze intense. Krell, there is no wind on this ship, trooper. Varys nervously, I know, Sergeant. I thought I heard someone say my name. Guardsman 3 laughs a high, strained sound. It's the warp madness, Varys. You're hearing things. We're all hearing things. Krell, his voice is low, but it cuts through the room. He stands. You heard nothing. Do you understand me? You heard the sacred engines. You heard the blessed air scrubbers. You heard the blood pumping in your own cowardly ears. He steps over to Varys, towering over him. Krell, this ship is sealed. Sealed by the Emperor's own will. The only thing that gets in here, he taps his own grizzled temple, is what you let in. Your thoughts are not your own in this place. Keep them clean. Keep your faith like a blade, or I will clean them for you. He glares at the men one by one. Krell, now, back to your game, and pray. Pray the only thing you hear for the rest of this trip is that thrum. The men nervously resume their game. Krell sits back down, resuming his cleaning. But his eyes keep darting to the ventilation grill, and he grips the aquila around his neck. He listens, and for a second under the all-pervading thrum, he too thinks he hears it. A faint sibilant sigh. Fade to black. The darkness is absolute. The constant life-affirming thrum of the Gellerfield is gone. In its place, a silence so profound it is a physical weight, a vacuum of sound, of reality, of hope. It lasts for 3 heartbeats, then a sound, not with the ears but inside the mind. A whisper spoken by a billion voices at once. It is a sibilant, seductive sigh that every soul on the ship hears simultaneously. Whisper in the mind, a collective soft sound. We see you. The emergency lights, a sickly chemical red, flicker to life. They illuminate the bridge and the viewports. The protective blue-green shield of the Gellerfield is gone. Outside the armored glass is not the swirling abstract color of the warp. It is a roiling blood-red fog pressed hard against the glass. And in the fog things are moving. Immense shadowy shapes, pale and blotched, drift past. A single colossal eye the size of a lander swivels in the crimson mist. It stares. It stares directly at Captain Valther. Valther, a choked whisper thrown. Inti, mid-deck berthing. The guardsmen are frozen. The red emergency lights cast deep, monstrous shadows. Krell's voice shaking but still bellowing. Report, Varys, check the... He stops. He is staring at Varys. Varys is staring at his hands. Varys, Sergeant, what's happening? Krell looks at his own hands. They seem distant, translucent. He can see the bones beneath the skin glowing faintly. Guardsman 2, it's in my head. Get it out. He begins to scratch at his temples, his fingernails drawing blood. Guardsman 3, staring at the bulkhead. The walls are breathing. Krell looks. The metal bulkhead seems to be subtly flexing, pulsing as if the ship has developed a slow, wet heartbeat. A single weeping eye opens in the steel plating. It blinks slowly, and a tear of rust rolls down the wall. Krell, he raises his laser-gun heresy. It's not real, it's a test of faith. Whisper in the mind, louder now amused. Faith is rust. Ironte Gellerfield Generatorium. The chamber is lit only by the sputtering fires from a ruptured plasma conduit. The great machine is silent. Dead. Magos Bor is on the floor, his mechanical limbs twitching. He is trying to rise, his optical lenses shattered. The bound psyker in the alcove is slumped forward. The psychic halo is gone. He is just a corpse in a chair. Magos Bor, his vox is cracked, spitting static failure. Catastrophic failure. The machine spirit has fled. He pulls himself up, leaning against a console. He activates a ship-wide vox channel, his last act of logic. Magos Bor, attention, all decks. This is Magos Technicus Bor. Gellerfield integrity is 0. The containment. He stops. His single remaining organic eye widens. He is looking at the generator. A shadow is detaching itself from the machine's casing. It is not a shadow cast by the machine. It is a shadow peeling off it. It unfolds like wet cloth into the shape of a thin, spindly creature and smiles at him with too many teeth. Magos Bor. A new sound enters his voice, a sound the tech priest has never made. pure, undiluted terror. It has departed. The great barrier is gone. Oh, Omnissiah, preserve us! And Dominus Fidelis Bridge. Bor's terrifying broken message echoes across the bridge, followed by a wet tearing sound and a burst of static. The channel goes dead. For a moment there is only the sound of the crew's ragged breathing and the soft, wet pulsing of the ship's walls. Valthi stares at the colossal eye in the viewport. Valther, his voice is almost a prayer. All hands, brace for... He doesn't know what to say. Brace for what? The eye blinks, and the entire ship screams. It is not the sound of metal. The ship itself, the bulkheads, the floors, the console screams in a chorus of 1,000,000 human voices, a symphony of agony. Reality breaks. The red emergency lights shatter. The darkness floods in. And hell follows with it. Fade to black. Ent Dominus Fidelis, mid-deck berthing. Fading in. A single guttering lumen strip flickers, casting a strobe of sickly yellow light. The red emergency lights are dead. The air is thick and smells of ozone copper and something sweet like rotting fruit. The ship is no longer silent. It is filled with a low, wet groaning. The pulsing Krell saw was just the beginning. The metal bulkheads are now visibly flexing in and out like the walls of a great throat. Krell, voice hoarse, raising his laser gun. By the throne. Varus, get up, form a perimeter. He turns. Varus is still on his knees. He is staring at Guardsman 2, the one who was sitting opposite him. The man is still sitting bolt upright, and he is flowering. Krell, a choked gasp. What? The Guardsman's skin is peeling back from his face, not burning, but peeling, like the petals of a grotesque, fleshy flower. The strips of skin curl backward, revealing the musculature beneath. The muscles themselves are writhing, twisting and re-knotting themselves, forming blasphemous sigil-like patterns that pulse with a faint purple light. Varus whispering, tears streaming down his face. Emperor, Emperor, save him! Save us! The Guardsman's head lolls back. His jaw unhinges. His ribs crack one by one and begin to push out of his chest, elongating into sharp, bone-white spikes that curve upward. He is still alive. His eyes, wide and terrified a second ago, are now calm, serene. He turns his head, the skin petals flopping wetly. He looks at Krell, and he smiles, then he laughs. It is not a human sound. It is a wet, bubbling, multi-toned shriek of pure, ecstatic joy. It echoes through the berthing, harmonizing with the groaning of the ship. Krell, he screams a sound of pure terror and rage, heretic. He opens fire. The last beam hits the creature square in the chest. The creature giggles as the superheated light cauterizes its blooming flesh, the smell of cooked meat mixing with the sweetness. It leans forward, still laughing, and topples to the floor. Varus scrambles back, vomiting. Krell, shaking, reloading. It's the warp. It's a trick. He looks at the bulkhead next to him. A human face contorted in silent agony is pushing itself out of the solid steel. It stretches the metal like rubber. It opens its mouth in a scream that Krell can see but not hear. Then, just as quickly, it melts back into the metal, leaving only a distorted, man-shaped dent. Another face appears. And another. All over the corridor. The walls are now a tapestry of silent, screaming faces appearing and vanishing. The groaning of the ship is their chorus. Krell! He grabs Varus by the collar, hauling him to his feet. Move. We have to get to the... He doesn't know where to go. Krell, to the chapel. We have to find the confessor. Move. He shoves Varus into the corridor, which is now pulsing and alive. The floor feels soft under his boots like packed earth. Whisper in the mind sighs contentedly. Home. Fade to black. Aenti Dominus Fidelis Bridge. The bridge is a charnel house of sensory overload. The main viewport is no longer a window. It is a living, swirling canvas of impossible colors. The colossal eye is still there, pressed against the glass, its vast, unblinking pupil fixed on Valthi. The ship itself shrieks a mechanical, biological wail. Valther, bellowing over the din, clutching his command throne communications. Get me a signal, any signal I want. A distress call coded excommunicate traitoris, broadcast on all channels. His communications officer, an old gaunt woman named Genta, claws at her console. Her fingers are bleeding. The console is dark dead. Genta screaming back, hysterical. No power, Captain. The cogitators are... They're weeping, she points. A thick, viscous, blood-like fluid is oozing from the data ports. Valther, his mind racing, the astropathic choir. Their our only hope. Override the seals. Open a direct psychic link to the sanctum. Genta, her eyes wide with terror. Sir, the protocols. A raw link while in the warp. Without the field? It will kill them. Valther, they are dead already, officer. We all are. If that call doesn't get out, do it now. Genta, sobbing, slams her bloody fist onto a large wax-sealed emergency rune. The rune cracks. A new sound enters the bridge. A high-pitched whine like 1,000 kettle drums building in intensity. Int, astropathic sanctum, simultaneous. This room, once serene, a place of meditation, is now a vortex. The 12 astropaths' blind psychic conduits are still strapped to their crystalline thrones. When Genta broke the seal, the raw, unfiltered madness of the warp slammed into them. It was not a whisper. It was a psychic tidal wave. They are no longer human. They are conduits, gateways. Energy the color of a fresh bruise arcs between them, crackling and spitting. Their mouths are open, their blindfolds smoking. Lead astropath, his voice is not his own. It is a chorus of 1,000 laughing, screaming voices speaking in unison. We are open. We see. We are the message. And the messenger. He turns his head, his eyeless sockets fixing on the Vox pickup. End. Dominus Fidelis. Bridge. The high-pitched whine on the bridge builds to a deafening, skull-splitting crescendo, and then it is replaced. A psychic scream explodes from the Vox grill. It is not a sound. It is a weapon. It is the collective, amplified agony and madness of the 12 astropaths broadcast directly into the minds of the bridge crew. Genta is closest. Her head explodes. A fine red mist covers her console. The helmsman claws at his ears, but the sound isn't in his ears. It's inside. He screams, blood pouring from his eyes and nose, and collapses. The other officers are thrown back as if by a physical blast. They clutch their heads writhing on the floor. On the main viewport, the armored glass, inches thick, vibrates from the psychic assault. Cracks spiderweb across it, not from the outside, but from the inside. Captain Valthy is saved only by the command throne's insulated cowl. He is slammed back, the scream muffled to a sanity-shattering shriek. He feels a sharp, hot pain, and blood begins to leak from his right ear. The scream holds for 10 agonizing seconds, and then cuts off, replaced by a sound. A single soft, wet chuckle echoing from the dead Vox. Then silence. Valthy slumps deafened in one ear, blood on his uniform. He looks around. His entire bridge crew is dead or dying. The viewport is fractured. The ship is groaning. Valthy, to himself a ragged whisper. No help, no. Help is coming. Fade to black. Inter Dominus Fidelis, bridge. Captain Valthy drags himself from the command throne. His right ear rings with a deafening tinnitus. The psychic shriek has subsided, leaving a residue of pure malevolence in the air. The ship feels wrong, the very air buzzing like a plucked nerve. He stumbles over the body of his helmsman, whose eyes are just charred sockets. Valther, into his personal Vox speed security detail report. Static. Then a voice. It's Sergeant Harl, a voidsman from the ship's internal guard. Harl VO. Through a filter of static and giggling, Captain, We are the generatorium. We must restart the field Magos bore. Valther, clinging to a console for support. Harl, listen to me. The Magos is gone. The field is gone. Your orders are to regroup on the bridge. We are attempting an emergency translation. Regroup on the bridge. Harl VO. A scream in the background. Yes, sir, We're in the central... Wait, this isn't... Valther, Sergeant, report. Harl VO. Pure confusion. The corridor, sir. We've been running for 10 minutes. We just passed Section 8 Alpha. Valth, his blood runs cold. Harl, the bridge is Section 8 Alpha. Harl VO, panting. No, sir. We passed it. We're running. Valthy watches the tactical display. The small green rune representing Harl's fire team is moving down the central corridor, and then it reappears at the other end of the same corridor, instantly still moving in the same direction. They are in a loop. Harl VO. Sir, we just passed it again. The same prayer sigil on the wall. It's not possible. Valtho, Harl, stop, turn around. Harl VO. Panic setting in. We're trying, so Oh, throne. We turned, and we're still running the same way. A new sound on the vox, a wet skittering, then screams. Lasfire. Harl VO. They're coming from the walls. Get it off me. Get it off. The vox cuts to static. Valthi slams his fist on the dead console. Int Dominus Fidelis, elevator shaft. Another security team. Team Beta is trying to ascend from the engine decks. The lift is dark, lit only by their helmet lamps. Beta leader into his vox. No contact with the bridge. We are proceeding via lift shaft 4. The lift shudders to a halt. The number above the door, which should read 8, flickers and becomes an X, then a spiral, then the number 143. Beta 2, what in the... Beta leader grav shoot failure. Pop the door. Manual override. The two troopers brace and force the heavy metal doors apart with a hydraulic pry bar. A groan of tortured metal, and the doors slide open. They stare. It is not Deck 8. It is not a corridor. It is outside. They are looking at a vast open expanse of brilliant silver stars, clear and sharp against a velvet black void. A beautiful, peaceful nebula glowing emerald and gold hangs in the distance. It is the most beautiful thing they have ever seen. Beta 2, awestruck, taking a step forward. It's real space. We're out. Beta leader, hold your position. That's impossible. Beta 2, it's a miracle, sir. Look, he steps out of the elevator. There is no floor. He simply steps into the star field and begins to fall, tumbling end over end, his arms flailing. He doesn't make a sound. The beta leader watches, frozen in horror, as his trooper falls upward, shrinking into the stellar distance. Then from the void something looks back. From the center of the beautiful nebula, a shape detaches itself. It is a thing of impossible scale, a silhouette of tentacles and eyes larger than a star system. It is so vast that its movement registers only as the stars behind it, winking out one by one. It is looking directly into the elevator. Beta leader. A choked whisper. Close it. Close the door. He scrambles for the controls. A single shadow-black tendril, thin as a hair, but 1,000 miles long, darts from the void. It moves faster than light. It spears through the opening, through the leader's chest, and pulls. He is yanked out of the lift into the star field, his scream cut short. The elevator doors slide shut, leaving the last trooper alone in the dark. He begins to laugh, a high, mad giggling. The geometry of the Dominus Fidelis is no longer bound by reality. It is a nightmare's floor plan. Fade to black. INT Dominus Fidelis, ventilation duct 9 gamma. The ship's air system is dead. The only sound is a faint wet gloop. Gloop? Gloop? The duct is dark, but the metal walls are coated in a thick phosphorescent slime, pulsing with a cheerful gangrenous green light. It illuminates the narrow space. The source of the sound is a pool of this slime, congealing in a U-bend. A bubble forms in the center of the pool. It swells, wobbles, and pops. From the popped bubble, a creature emerges. It is small, no larger than a human infant. It is a round, putrid ball of decaying green flesh with short, spindly limbs and a wide, leering mouth full of blunt, yellowed teeth. A single antler covered in weeping sores sprouts from its head. It is a nurgling, a lesser demon of plague. It looks around, its eyes bright with mischievous glee. It giggles a high-pitched, wet, choking sound. It pulls itself from the slime, its feet making sticky sucking sounds. Another bubble forms, pops, another nurgling tumbles out, landing on the first. They wrestle for a moment, giggling madly, before a third and fourth emerge. They are a tide, a joyful, disgusting tide of filth. They begin to crawl quickly up the ventilation shaft toward the inhabited decks. Nurglings in chorus, a wet, bubbling chant. Presents, gifts for the tall ones, boils and blessings, pop, pop, pop. They laugh and scurry into the ship's arteries. Inti Dominus Fidelis, port gunnery deck. This deck housed the ship's massive macro cannons. Now it is a hall of terror. The emergency lighting casts long shadows. The gunnery crew, 24 men and women, are huddled by the main bulkhead, armed with las pistols and wrenches. They are trapped. The main door has sealed itself. Gunnery chief, an older, battle-hardened woman. Hold fast, the captain. The captain will send help. Just watch the shadows. A young gunner, Pietas, is staring at the center of the room. The air there is shimmering, like a heat haze. A new smell fills the room, overriding the stench of slime and fear. It smells like brass-hot blood and pure, concentrated rage. Pietas whispering, pointing a shaky las pistol. Chief, what is that? The shimmering air begins to tear. It is not a rip in the metal. It is a rip in reality. A vertical gash glowing a furious molten red opens in midair. It looks like a wound in the world. A sound comes from it. A single brazen bray of a war horn so loud it shakes the dust from the ceiling. A hand grips the edge of the tear. It is not flesh. It is crimson red armor edged in jagged brass. Claws, not fingers, dig into the fabric of the air. It pulls itself through. It is 8 feet tall, a nightmare of corded, blood-red muscle and brazen plate. Its face is a snarling canine visage with a long, lolling tongue and burning coals for eyes. In its hand it holds a massive serrated sword that drips with molten metal. A bloodletter, a foot soldier of the blood god Khorne. It stands there for a second, surveying the cowering humans. It does not speak. It does not taunt. The only sound is the hiss of its blade and a low guttural growl deep in its chest. It is the physical incarnation of wrath. Gunnery chief screams, leveling her pistol for the Emperor fire. A volley of las fire streaks across the room. The beams splash harmlessly against the demon's brass armor or sizzle as they pass through its semi-corporeal flesh. The bloodletter snarls a sound of pure contempt. It doesn't charge. It moves. It crosses the 50-meter deck in a single impossible bound landing among the gunners. The slaughter begins. It is not a battle. It is an execution. The demon moves in a blur of red. Its hellblade sings as it cuts. It does not waste motion. Each swing severs a limb, a head, a torso. Blood arcs painting the bulkheads. The screams are cut short, one after another. The demon is silent. Its rage is not loud. It is a cold, focused, absolute thing. Pietas, the young gunner, drops his pistol and falls to his knees, paralyzed by terror. The bloodletter finishes the last gunner, the chief, and turns. It stalks toward Pietas. It raises its glowing sword. Pietas closes his eyes, weeping. The blade does not fall. He opens his eyes. The bloodletter is sniffing the air. It turns its head as if hearing a distant call. It looks annoyed. A gurgling, giggling sound comes from the vent above them. A single nurgling pokes its head out waves and blows a wet raspberry. The bloodletter roars in disgust. The chaotic energies are mixing and it hates the joyous filth of Nurgle as much as it hates the cowering mortal. It gives Pietas one last look of utter contempt and then dissolves. It simply breaks apart into red dust and smoke pulled elsewhere by the ship's madness. Pietas is left alone, kneeling in a room of body parts covered in the blood of his comrades. He begins to laugh, the same high, mad giggle as the trooper in the elevator. From the vent, the nurgling giggles back. Fade to black. Enter Dominus Fidelis, Navigator's Sanctum. This chamber high on the ship's spine is isolated. Built of psychically dampening materials, it is for now physically untouched. No slime, no breathing walls. Just silence. Alara Vane is floating in the amniotic fluid of her navigator's tank. The fluid normally clear is now clouded murky. Her third eye, the warp eye in her forehead, is clamped shut. She is cut off, blind. The failure of the Geller field was like a star exploding in her face. She is huddled in the tank, rocking, weeping, her mind shattered by the psychic blast of the choir. Alara whispering to herself, her voice trembling. Can't see. Can't see. The light is gone. Only the dark. Only the screaming. A new voice enters the sanctum. It is not the roar of corn or the giggle of Nurgle. It is soft, melodious. It sounds like silver bells and a lover's promise. It forms in her mind a soothing balm on her raw nerves. Voice in her mind, sibilant, beautiful, almost singing, "Shh, little eye. Why do you weep? The screaming has stopped. We made it stop." Alara gasping, looking around the tank. Who is that? Where are you? Voice in her mind. We are here. We have always been here. You who have spent your life staring into the storm, why did you never look at it? You only ever saw the Emperor's dull, brutish light. A single boring note. We offer the symphony. Alara's hand goes to her forehead. Her third eye twitches beneath the skin. Alara, the Astronomicon. It is truth. Voice in her mind laughs a sound like breaking crystal. It is a lie. A cage. A single yellow-gold color in a universe that longs to be a rainbow. You have seen only a shadow of perfection. You have felt only a pinprick of sensation. Don't you want more? Alara tempted her fear, mixing with a new, strange desire. More. Voice in her mind. More sensation, more truth, more beauty. The Imperium fears this place. We are this place. It is not chaos. It is freedom. It is sensation unbound. Open your eye, Alara Vane. Open it and truly see for the first time. Slowly, her hand trembling, Alara's fingers move to her forehead. The voice coos, encouraging her. She wills the third eye to open. It snaps open beneath the fluid. It is no longer a human eye. It is not an organ. It is a swirling vortex of impossible colors, pinks, purples, and electric blues. Alara gasps, but it is not a gasp of horror. It is a gasp of ecstasy. A beatific smile spreads across her face. Alara, her voice is now a dreamy, melodic sing-song. It's all beautiful. The pain is beautiful. The fear is exquisite. I see it all. I see. She begins to sing. A haunting, complex melody, utterly alien, yet compelling. The song vibrates through the amniotic fluid, and the fluid itself begins to glow with a soft pink light. She is no longer a prisoner. She is an apostle. Into Dominus Fidelis, Arsenal Hanatri. Sergeant Krell and the surviving guardsman Varus have barricaded themselves inside a weapons locker. The room is dark, save for their helmet lamps. The walls here are also pulsing, and a faint giggling sound can be heard from the vents. Varus is rocking back and forth, reciting the litany of hate, his voice a high-pitched, terrified mantra. Varus, deliver my soul from the unholy, preserve my flesh from the unclean. Deliver my soul, preserve my flesh. Krell, he is not praying. He is staring wide-eyed at the bulkhead. Stop! Varus, deliver my soul from the unholy. Krell, his voice is low, dangerous, I said. Stop. He grabs Varus and slams him against the wall. Krell's eyes are wild, bloodshot, and burning with a terrifying new light. Krell, you hear that, trooper, the weakness, the crying. Varus, terrified of his sergeant, sir, I'm just praying. Krell, his face inches from Varus's, that is not prayer, that is fear. And fear is how it gets in. You saw what it did to Jax. It bloomed him. Why? Because he was weak. He let it in. Varus, we all saw it. We're not. Krell, he lets go, pacing the small room like a caged animal. It's a test. Don't you see? It's all a test. The Emperor has delivered us into the furnace. He is watching us. He is watching me. He wants to see who will break. He wants to see who is pure. He stops his back to Varys. He looks at his laser-gun. Krell, the ship is infected. The walls, the air, the men, all weak, all compromised. Varys stammering, Sergeant. What are you saying? We have to find the captain. Krell turns and his face is calm. It is a terrifying, absolute calmness. Krell, the captain is weak. He's probably already turned. They're all weak, crying, fearing, doubting. He raises his laser gun, aiming it at Varys. The Emperor demands purity, and it is my duty to cleanse the weakness. Varys' eyes widen in disbelief. Sergeant, no. Krell, no. Krell, crying is a sign of corruption, Varys, and you haven't stopped. Varys opens his mouth to scream. A single last bolt. The sound is shockingly loud in the small room. Varys slumps a cauterized hole in his chest. Krell looks down at the body. He nods, satisfied. Krell, the Emperor protects. He checks his charge pack, his hands perfectly steady. He has a new purpose. He is no longer a survivor. He is a purger. He unseals the arsenal door and steps into the breathing, screaming hallway. Fade to black. End. Gellerfield Generatorium. The chamber is a desecration. The great Geller engine is silent, its blue-green light extinguished. It is now lit by the flickering, greasy flames of the ruptured plasma conduit and the sickly green glow of nurgling slime coating the walls. The spindly shadow daemon that killed the servitors is gone, having skittered into the ship's maintenance tunnels. Magos Technicus Bor is alive. Barely. He has dragged himself into a control nook hidden behind a bank of cogitators. His lower robotic chassis is mangled, useless. One organic arm is broken. He is a creature of pure logic, trapped in a realm of absolute madness, and he is failing. He can hear the wet giggling of the nurglings as they swarm the lower levels of the chamber. He can hear the distant brazen horn of the bloodletter. He can feel the ship's walls pulsing. Magospor. His vox hisses a stream of panicked binaric 011110 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 0111 Sanoron Konowaron 0111 0111 0111. He switches to guttural synthesized Gothic. The rituals, the litanies, they are just words. The machine spirit, it is not asleep, it is dead. He looks at the generator. The heart of the machine. The core. It is just cold, dead metal. He looks at the nurglings who are now joyfully dismantling a servitor's corpse, pulling out wires and organs and wearing them as hats. He sees the reality. Logic has failed. Order has failed. The Omnissiah is silent. A new, cold, terrible logic forms in his mind. An unbalanced equation can be solved. If one side is chaos, the other side must also be chaos. Fire cannot be fought with water in this place. Fire must be fought with fire. With his one good mechadendrite, he reaches for a panel on his chassis. It slides open, revealing a small, locked compartment. The seal is not wax. It is octogrammic, the 8-pointed star of the Ordo Malleus. It is tech heresy, a forbidden relic. Magospor, sanctioned, study, subject demonic encirclement containment theory. He breaks the seal. Inside is a small black cube covered in etching that seems to move. It is a data slate, but it is alive. He presses his metallic thumb to it. It unfolds, projecting a red holographic matrix. It is not a schematic. It is a binding ritual. A trap. Magospor. His voice is low, steady. He is a priest again, but of a new dark faith. The Imperium is the enemy. The Imperium is also the solution. The generator is a vessel. The machine spirit is dead, but the vessel is empty. He begins the new ritual. He is not praying to the Omnissiah. He is calling. He activates the generator's primary cogitator. It sputters to life. He begins to upload the ritual's code. It is not code. It is a name, a trap, a lure. Magospor. I offer a machine, a body of steel and plasma, a heart of a dying star. I offer a throne. Come and be bound. The air in the chamber changes. The giggling of the nurglings stops. They hiss, suddenly terrified. They scurry back toward the vents. The red light of the holographic ritual intensifies. The dead Geller generator groans. Metal shrieks as it begins to warp, not from the outside but from the inside. A new, powerful, intelligent presence enters the room. It is not the mindless rage of Khorne or the joyful plague of Nurgle. It is cold, calculating, and ancient. Whisper in the mind, not a shout. A cold, piercing thought like a shard of ice in the brain. Body. Cage. You. Offer. Me. Cage. Margospor's remaining organic eye is wide blood streaming from it. The pressure is immense. Margospor, through his vox straining a cage or a weapon. The ship is yours. If you start the field, a sound like 1,000 voices laughing in perfect discordant harmony. The generator explodes outward, not with fire, but with pure warp energy, a brilliant electric blue. The energy slams into Bor. He is lifted from the ground, his body arching in agony. Margospor. Naga! His mechadendrites, his metal limbs melt. They flow like wax, reforming, fusing with the control console. The cables and wires of the generator throne detach from the walls and fly toward him, plunging into his flesh, into his metal. He is being integrated. The generator's core ignites. A new thrum. It is not the clean, steady pulse of the old field. It is a jarring, hateful, angry pulse. But it is a pulse. A shimmering electric blue and violet field of energy expands from the generator, crackling with raw power. It is not a bubble of reality. It is a bubble of a demon's will. It slams into the breathing, fleshy walls. The walls recoil. The faces in the metal scream in pain and retreat. The nurgling slime boils and evaporates. The daemon bound to the machine is staking its territory. It is pushing the rest of the warp out, and Margospor is at the center of it. He is no longer a tech priest. He is a screaming, half-molten figurehead of flesh and warped metal fused permanently into the thrumming demonic engine. He has become the new screaming psyker in the chair. But he is conscious, and he has just enough control to send one final broken message to the bridge. Margospor, his voice is now a tortured hybrid of static and a dozen other demonic voices. Field. Active. Unstable. Holding. It hates. Translate. T-translate. Ninmoom. Fade to black. End. Dominus Fidelis. Bridge. Captain Valthy is alone. His crew is dead, their bodies sprawled across the console's victims of the astropathic scream. The only light is the hellish, swirling chaos light from the fractured main viewport and the faint, angry red of a single damaged status screen. The ship is groaning a deep, resonant biological sound. He drags himself to the helm. He needs to activate the emergency translation. It's the only way. A blind jump. A 1 in a million chance. He grips the translation levers. They are cold. Valther to himself, to the ship, to the Emperor. In your name. Let this be an end. He pulls the levers. Nothing happens. The levers spark feebly, and the red status screen flashes a single mocking rune query. Valther, he slams his fist on the console. Engage, execute now. He looks at the screen. The rune query. He looks back at the levers. His hands are still on them. He looks at the body of his helmsman, Genta. She is slumped over her head, destroyed. He takes a breath, shaking. He pulls the levers again. Nothing. Query. A sound behind him. A gasp. Valther spins his las pistol raised. It's Genta. She is at her console, alive, her head intact, her eyes wide with terror. Genta screaming. So the protocols, a raw link while in the warp. Without the field, it will kill them. Valthy. He stares, his mind shattering Genta. Valther Bridgeold, he is still at the helm. He looks over. Genta is still dead. He is alone. What? He looks back at the helm. And he is back at his command throne. The psychic scream has not happened yet. The high-pitched whine is just beginning to build. He is living it again. Valther throne knowing what is coming. No. Genta don't cut the link. Genta ignoring him, her duty absolute. They are dead already, officer. We all are. If that call doesn't get out, do it now. She slams her fist on the rune. The scream explodes from the vox. Valthy is slammed back into his throne. The pain, the sound. Genta's head explodes. The crew collapses. The silence returns. Valthy slumps deafened in one earblood on his uniform. He is alone. He drags himself to the helm. He grips the translation levers. He pulls them. The red screen flashes query. Valther, he screams a raw, broken sound. He turns. Genta is at her station, alive. Genta, so the protocols, a raw link. Valthy. He doesn't hesitate. He raises his pistol and fires. No. The last bolt hits Genta. She collapses dead. The whine continues. Valther looks. He didn't shoot Genta. She is still at her console. His pistol is in its holster. Genta, it will kill them. Valther scrambling. It's a loop. The ship, it's feeding. The scream hits again. The pain. The agony. He is back in the silence. Alone. He stumbles to the helm. Pulls the levers. Query. He watches detached as a new figure enters the bridge. A security officer. The man is young, his armor clean. He looks at the carnage, horrified. Security officer, Captain, what? By the throne. Valthy. His voice is dead. You're not real. Security officer. Sir, we have to... The officer suddenly ages. His face wrinkles. His hair turns grey, then white. His skin tightens over his skull. He turns to dust his armor, clattering to the deck. Valther, he doesn't even flinch. Broken. Time is broken. He is at the helm. He pulls the levers. Query, he is at the throne. The SD cream hits. He is at the helm. Query, the scream hits. Query, query, query. He is on the floor, huddled hands over his bleeding ear. He is rocking back and forth. Valther whispering, make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. A new event. The body of his tactical officer lying by the door suddenly reverses. The blood flies from the floor back into his eyes. He jerks, standing up. He is a child, a screaming infant in a tactical uniform. Then he is gone. Valthy is alone again. At the helm, Query, he looks at the levers. He looks at his hands. He realizes. The loop isn't just the scream. The loop is him. His attempt to translate. That is the anchor. Valther, he stands up, a terrible cold resolve. A different choice. He is back at the throne. The whine begins. Genta, sir, the protocols. This time Valthy does not try to stop her. He does not go to the helm. He ignores the levers. He draws his last pistol. The whine is building. Genta is about to hit the rune. He ignores her. He walks his legs heavy past the helm, past the levers. He walks to the main bridge hatch. The scream explodes behind him. He cries out, falling to his knees as the psychic blast washes over him. But it is different. It is still agony, but it is ending, because he changed the variable. The loop breaks. The sound of the scream fades, leaving only the wet, groaning pulse of the ship. Valthy is on his hands and knees at the bridge hatch. He is free. He looks back. The helm is dark. The query sign is gone. The levers are useless. He has no ship. Valthy! He pushes himself up, his body screaming in protest. The navigator. Ilara. He forces the hatch open. A manual translation. It's the only way left. He steps out of the bridge into the breathing, fleshy nightmare of his own ship. Fade to black. Int Dominus Fidelis. Grand corridor, outside bridge. Captain Valthy stumbles out of the bridge hatch. The corridor is unrecognizable. The deck plates are soft, pulsing like a carpet of living flesh. The walls are ribbed like the inside of a great beast and weep a viscous, foul-smelling ichor. And there is a new sound. Thrum, thrum, thrum. It is the Geller field. But it is wrong. It's a discordant, hateful, angry pulse that shakes the very atoms of the ship. It is the sound of Bohr's demonic engine. This new field is pushing back the external warp, but the corruption already inside the ship is recoiling from it, shrieking. The demon field is fighting the other demons. The ship is a war zone of gods. Valthi ignores it. He has one purpose, one desperate, insane hope. Valther, to himself, his voice a raw rasp. The navigator, Elara. The helm is dead. The cogitators are loops of madness. He can't force a translation from the bridge. But a navigator can tear a hole, a direct manual emergency jump, a blind leap into real space. It's a death sentence. It could rematerialize them inside a star or in the cold vacuum half a galaxy from any light. But it is a different death sentence. It is an imperial death. Valther, Elara, hold on. He begins the long climb up the ship's spine toward the navigator's sanctum. He has his last pistol and his faith. The ship fights him. A corridor stretches to infinity. He turns, and it's a sheer drop. Tentacles of congealed shadow burst from the walls, lashing at him. He fires, he prays, he crawls. The hateful thrum of Bohr's machine is his only map, the only constant. He moves toward its source, knowing the sanctum is near the generatorium. Navigator's sanctum, antechamber. He finally reaches the sealed adamantium hatch of the sanctum. It is fused shut. The metal is warped as if by great heat. He fires his last pistol at the lock mechanism. The beam hits spattering molten metal. It doesn't budge. He fires again and again, overheating the weapon, burning his own hand. Finally, with a groan of tortured metal, the lock melts. He slams his shoulder into the heavy door. It swings open. Navigator's sanctum. The room is pristine, untouched. The air is warm and smells like incense, ozone, and lavender. The hateful thrum of the daemon engine is muffled here, a distant, angry heartbeat. Elara Vane is floating in her amniotic tank. The fluid, once murky, is now a clear, beautiful glowing shade of rose pink. She is not huddled. She is not weeping. She is floating serenely, her arms outstretched as if in welcome. A faint, beautiful alien melody hangs in the air. Her song. She is smiling. Valthor, stumbling in his hope, warring with a new profound dread. Elara, thank the throne. You're alive. Elara turns in the fluid. She looks at him not with her eyes, but with her mind. Valthor, the ship we're lost. The bridge is gone. I can't jump us. He grips the edge of the tank. Elara, you are our only chance. A blind jump. An emergency translation. You have to tear us out of here. Now! Elara's smile widens. Slowly she opens her two normal eyes. They are bright, clear, and full of a terrible, loving pity. Elara, her voice is a soft, melodic whisper, but it fills his mind. Oh, Arvus, out! There is no out. Why would we leave? Valther. He steps back. What are you saying? Elara, I was blind. We were all so blind. We spent our lives fearing the storm, but the storm is beautiful. It is perfection, sensation, truth. Valthi raising his last pistol, his hand shaking. Elara, that is heresy. The thing in the machine, it's giving us a chance. We can escape. Elara, she laughs. It is the sound of 1,000 wind chimes. Escape that thing in the engine. That is just a different note in the symphony, Captain. A clumsy, angry blue note. But I have heard the whole song. They are here. They are with us. They are us. Her hand moves to her forehead. Elara, we don't need to leave. We just need to let go. She opens her third eye. It is not an eye. It is a swirling, hypnotic vortex of pure sensation. A pinwheel of amethyst pink and electric blue. It is a portal. A black hole of impossible beauty. Valthi stares into it, and for a second he sees it. He sees the universe as a tapestry of pure, ecstatic pain. He sees his own fear as a delicious, exquisite flavor. He wants He wants Valthi, he screams, tearing his gaze away. Ilara, her face twists not in anger, but in disappointed passion. It is so beautiful. Why do you fight it? Why do you cling to your grey little painful reality? Valtha, he aims the pistol. Ilara, by my oath, stop. Ilara, there is no Ilara. Only this, only the truth. She screams. It is not the psychic blast of the astropaths. It is not a sound of rage. It is a single concentrated ecstatic note of pure, weaponized bliss. A wave of shimmering pink energy slams out of the tank. It hits Valthi like a physical fist. He is thrown back, slamming into the adamantium door. His last pistol clatters from his numb fingers. He feels wonderful. His broken bones, his exhaustion, his fear. It's all gone, replaced by a warm, flooding ecstasy. He wants to lie down. He wants to sleep. He wants to open. Ilara, yes, that's it, Arvus. Let go, see what I see. Valthi looks at his hand. It's beautiful. The blood under the skin. The intricate, perfect structure of the bone. He could just peel the skin back, just to see it better. He shakes his head, a violent, guttural roar of defiance. Valtha, gritting his teeth, the pain of resistance is monumental. I am a servant of the Emperor. He lunges for his pistol. Ilara sighs, a sound of a lover spurned. Ilara, such a ugly, final note. Another stronger wave of energy hits him. He collapses, his vision fading into a beautiful, swirling pink mist. His last hope. Gone. Fade to black. End. Navigator's sanctum. Pink ecstatic light pulses from Ilara's tank. The beautiful alien melody is hypnotic, a tangible warm pressure in the air. Captain Valthi is on the floor. His last pistol is just inches from his outstretched hand. His mind is flooded with a warm, blissful apathy, a perfect sense of acceptance. The agony of his wounds, the terror of his situation, all of it has melted away, replaced by the desire to simply lie still and feel. He sees Ilara's beatific smiling face through the glass. Her third eye, a swirling vortex of amethyst, and rose is a promise of perfection. Ilara VO in his mind. It's so simple, Arvus. Just stop. Stop fighting. Stop being. It is so much warmer here. So much more. Let go. Valthi's hand, which was crawling with desperate Imperial-trained resolve, relaxes. His fingers uncurl. A faint, foolish smile touches his lips. Yes. So. Warm. The groaning of the ship, the distant, angry thrum of the demon field. It all seems so irrelevant. Then the thrum changes. Ein Gellerfield Generatorium, continuous. The chamber is a war zone of conflicting, impossible energies. The hateful electric blue field of the bound demon, the new Geller field, is pulsing, holding back the raw red chaos of the external warp. But it is failing. The thrum is becoming erratic, stuttering. Thrum, 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 thrum. The pressure from outside is too great. The bound entity is straining against its new cage. At the center of it all is Magos Bor, or what is left of him. He is a monstrous sculpture of flesh and molten metal, fused inextricably into the generator's primary console. His face is a mask of agony, his mouth open in a constant silent scream. Wires and glowing cables pulse with dark energy burrowed deep into his spine. He is the will holding the demon in the machine. And his will is breaking. Demon voice in Bor's mind. This cage, this bargain is broken. Meat thing. I will be free. The blue field outside the ship flickers violently. A vast, shadowy tentacle from the outer warp slams against the momentary weakness, shaking the entire ship with a bone-jarring impact. The jolt knocks Bor's consciousness back into focus. He sees through a data feed now, hardwired into his optical nerve, the ship's integrity failing. He sees the navigator's sanctum flooded with pink Slaneshi energy. He sees the bridge dark and dead. He sees it all. The equation, Megaspore. His synthesized vox crackles a sound of rust and agony. No, equation must be balanced. He does the last thing he can. He completes the integration. He performs the final ultimate rite of tech heresy. With a terrible exertion of will, he triggers the final binding. He gives the demon what it wants, his soul. Megaspore. The machine. I am the ritual. He opens the pathways not just of the generator, but of his own sanctified Mars-trained mind. He sacrifices his consciousness, his logic, his very identity to become fuel. The demon roars in triumph and agony as it consumes him. The Geller generator explodes with power. The thrum returns not as a hateful pulse, but as a solid, deafening, roaring note of finality. The blue field flares solid as adamantium, violently pushing the outer warp back. But it is a temporary, catastrophic burn. The reactor is redlining. Bohr the man is gone, and Bohr the fuel is being consumed in seconds. He has bought them perhaps minutes. With the last dying echo of his logic, his fused, screaming metallic mouth sends one final ship-wide broadcast. It is not a request. It is a dying binary command. Megaspore, VO, a deafening, multi-layered demonic static scream that echoes in every corridor. Translation: initiate now. 10, 9, 8. And Navigator's Sanctum. The bliss wave from Ilara is shattered by Bohr's psychic ship-wide death scream. Now 10, 9, 8. The sound is pure pain. It is the antithesis of Ilara's Slaaneshi bliss. It is the sound of cold, hard, agonizing logic. Valthi roars as the sound cuts through his ecstasy. The warmth is gone, replaced by the cold, hard terror of the countdown. He is on his feet. The spell is broken. Ilara, she shrieks in genuine, furious pain as Bohr's ugly logic scream defiles her song. No, stop it, ugly, ugly sound, it burns. Valthi snatches his last pistol. Valthi, his voice a snarl. He just bought us a chance. Ilara, there is no chance, only perfection. She unleashes a new wave of pink energy. Valthi fires. The last beam hits the tank. The energy wave hits him. The armored glass of the tank cracks. The pink fluid begins to spill. Valthi is thrown back again, slamming against the bulkhead. But he holds on to the pain. He holds on to the countdown. 7, 6. He has to jump the ship. The bridge is dead. He looks at the cracked tank. At the enraged, beautiful, corrupted navigator. She is the key. Fade to black. Hint Dominus Fidelis. Corridor outside Navigator's Sanctum. Valthi stumbles from the sanctum, his pistol in hand. The corridor is a battleground of light. The hateful, pulsing, blue-violet thrum of Bohr's demon engine wars with the soft, seductive pink glow radiating from Ilara's chamber. The air shrieks with the conflict of the two powers, and the countdown is screaming in his head a relentless psychic metronome. Bohr VO. 5, 4. Valthi's path is blocked. Sergeant Krell stands there flanked by 3 guardsmen. Their eyes are not panicked. They are burning with a cold, terrifying, zealous fire. They have purged their way here, their armor caked in the blood of their former comrades. Krell. His voice is a low, ecstatic growl. The captain. He has been to the witch's nest. He points a bloody chainsword at Valthi. Krell. He is unclean. He consorts with the heart of the heresy. Purge him for the Emperor. Guardsmen for the Emperor. They raise their laser guns. A brutal close-quarters firefight erupts. Las beams sear the air, splashing against the pulsing, fleshy walls. It's not a battle. It's a frantic, desperate brawl in a hallway that has become an artery of hell. Valthi takes cover behind a twisted metal support, the shots impacting inches from his head. He's pinned. He's trapped. Bohr VO. War 3. The main door to the sanctum explodes outward, not from a blast, but as if pushed by a wave of pure perfume. Ilara Vane drifts into the corridor. She is no longer human. She floats 6 inches from the deck. The pink amniotic fluid now clings to her, forming a shifting, ethereal gown that writhes with its own life. Her hair floats around her head in a halo. Her two normal eyes are closed. Her third eye is open, a blazing, hypnotic star of pure amethyst light. She is terrifyingly, impossibly beautiful. The sound of the countdown, the last fire, it offends her. Alara, her voice is a melodic chorus full of pained, furious disgust. Such noise, such ugly, artless discord, be silent. She raises one delicate hand. The air itself congeals. It turns thick like invisible syrup. The three guardsmen with Krell freeze. They look at their laser guns. The weapons melt in their hands, the metal turning to soft, writhing, flesh-like appendages that wrap around their arms. They try to scream. Their armor plates dissolve like wet paper, fusing them together into a single grotesque, multi-limbed sculpture of screaming faces and twisted limbs. It is a monument to agony, yet it is horribly graceful. Krell is spared. His sheer, insane, burning faith acts as a shield. The wave of transfiguration washes around him. He stares, his mind finally breaking at the writhing statue of his pure followers. Krell, a choked, broken whisper. Not pure. Alara floats past him, her attention fixed on Valther, the source of the hateful logic scream, still echoing in his mind. Alara, the countdown must stop. The song must be pure. Goodbye, Arvis. She raises her hand toward Valthy. Valthy is trapped. Krell is between him and Alara. The engine is about to die. Borvio, 2. Fade to black. Ent Dominus Fidelis. Corridor outside Navigator's sanctum. All elements are in collision. The hateful blue-violet pulse of Bor's failing engine. The ecstatic pink song of Alara. The burning, zealous rage of Krell. And the screaming psychic countdown in Valther's head. Borvio, 3. Valthy is pinned. Krell's last fire rips the metal around his head. He has no shot. He is trapped between a madman and a fallen angel. Alara glides past the grotesque statue of Krell's men, her full, terrible attention on Valthy. She raises her hand. Alara, the ugly sound. It stops. Now, Krell, his faith shattered by the transfiguration of his pure men, is trembling. He looks at the writhing, fleshy thing they have become, and then at the impossible, beautiful, profane creature that Alara is. His madness is cracking. Valther, he screams not at Alara but at Krell. A commander's last order. Krell, Sergeant, look. He doesn't point his pistol. He points his finger past them to a small armored viewport in the corridor wall. Valther, look at your heaven. Bor's blue-violet demon field, the thrum, is failing. It flickers. Thrum! 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 In that half-second flicker, the blue light vanishes. And for one agonizing moment, the viewport shows the truth. It shows the raw, unfiltered immaterium, the roiling, blood-red ocean, the colossal, indifferent, obscene shapes swimming in the depths, the trillion-mile-wide leviathans of chaos. It is not heaven. It is not a test. It is an ocean of absolute, soul-destroying hunger. Krell sees it. His zealous madness evaporates, replaced by a sanity that is in itself a purer form of terror. He sees with perfect clarity what he has done. He sees the purity he enforced. He sees the men he murdered. He sees the witch he ignored. He sees his own profound, damnable failure. Krell! His voice is a choked, broken whisper. Tears of shame cut through the grime on his face. What have I done? Borvio, 2. Alara, disgusted by this pathetic mortal display, turns from Valthy. Her focus shifts to Krell. Alara, ugly, weak, broken, you will be silenced. She raises her hand to unmake him. Krell looks at her. He sees the lie. He looks at Valthy. He sees his duty. The sergeant of the guard returns. Krell, a roar not of madness, but of pure, atoning fury for the true Emperor. He doesn't try to shoot her. He ignites the crack grenade on his belt. It is an anti-tank weapon. Its timer is 1 second. He lunges. He wraps his arms around the floating ethereal navigator, a bear hug of plasteel and suicidal faith. "Krell, heretic," Alara screams. A true, shrill, terrified sound. Her beautiful face contorts in shock and pain. She is for a second mortal. 1. The grenade detonates. The explosion is contained but absolute. A deafening whump. It is designed to punch through a tank. At point-blank range, it obliterates Krell and Alara in a single blinding flash of white light, gore, and atomized metal. The pink light vanishes. The song stops. Ente Dominus Fidelis, ship-wide. The countdown is over. Bor VO. A final dying psychic rattle. 0. Far, field. Phi. L. The hateful blue-violet thrum of the demon engine cuts out. Silence. A profound 3-second silence. The same silence from before. Then the walls of the Dominus Fidelis scream. The raw red energy of the warp, no longer held back by any field, slams back into the ship. The fleshy walls which had been held in check now explode with renewed life bleeding, growing new screaming faces. Rips in reality open in midair. Diamond's rage and filth pour back in. Enter corridor. Valthi is on the ground, thrown by the blast. His left side is riddled with shrapnel. His ear is ringing. The path is clear. He crawls, dragging his ruined leg past the smoking crater, where Alara and Krell died, toward a small secondary hatch. The navigator's helm control. He smashes the hatch open and falls inside. Int. Navigator's helm control. A small, dark chamber filled with cogitators that are now sparking and dead. This room interfaces with the navigator's sanctum, designed for a human to input coordinates. The main console flashes red navigator link severed. The room groans. The metal wall behind Valthi buckles inward. A molten red serrated blade punches through the steel. A bloodletter, its brass armor glowing, tears the bulkhead apart and steps into the room. It roars a sound of triumph and raises its hellblade. Valthi ignores it. He sees his goal. On the far wall, a large glass-covered panel. Behind it, a single, massive black lever. The lever is labeled in High Gothic emergency manual translation. All protocols void. No materiel calculation. The jump-blind lever. The bloodletter stalks toward him. Valthi raises his last pistol and smashes the glass cover. He lays his bloody hand on the lever. The demon is upon him. Valthi, a prayer, a curse, a final command. Emperor, forgive me. He pulls the lever. AXT the warp. The Dominus Fidelis is a small, scarred ship suddenly swarmed. It is covered in demonic energy tentacles and faces. The red ocean of the warp is collapsing on it. And then it vanishes. It doesn't jump. It is exhaled. A single point of light appears, and the entire ship is violently, instantly pulled through it. It is not a transition. It is a physical trauma. The demonic entities, the fleshy corruptions, the psychic energy, all of it is ripped away like a tablecloth, pulled from under a feast. It is an act of pure, agonizing expulsion. The Dominus Fidelis is torn from hell. But the warp, it keeps a tithe. The aft section of the ship, the main engines, the gunnery decks, they don't make it. They are sheared clean off, left behind in the Imperium. Blackness, silence, absolute cold real, AXT real space, unknown sector. Blackness. A cold, perfect mathematical black punctuated by the sharp, indifferent pinpricks of distant stars. The velvet void of real space. A silent, instantaneous rupture appears. The Dominus Fidelis, or what is left of it, tumbles out. It emerges not in a flash of light, but in a cloud of frozen atmosphere debris and instantly crystallized gore. It is a violent, silent birth. The ship is catastrophically damaged. The entire rear third of the cruiser is gone, sheared clean off. Where the massive engines were, there is now only a jagged, glowing red wound of cherry-hot metal that quickly cools and dulls in the vacuum. The ship is dark. No lights, no engines, no propulsion. It is a derelict, a tomb tumbling end over end in the cold, empty silence of the void. A&T Navigator's helm control. Sparks. The acrid smell of burned metal and ozone. The room is lit only by a single failing red emergency light. The bloodletter is gone, ripped back into the warp by the translation. All that remains is a faint sulphurous smell and a large claw-shaped rent in the bulkhead. Captain Valthi is slumped over the console, his hand still on the translation lever. He is a ruin. His left side is a mass of shrapnel wounds. He is bleeding from his ear, his nose. His uniform is soaked in his own blood. But he is breathing. Ragged, shallow, painful breaths. He groans a low animal sound and pushes himself upright. The movement sends a wave of agony through him. He looks around. The room is stable. The walls are no longer breathing. The metal is just metal. Cold, dead, silent metal. The silence is deafening. After the non-stop cacophony, the thrum, the screams, the whispers, the song, the countdown, the absolute, profound nothing of real space is a shock. Valthi's a hoarse, cracked whisper. Done. It's done. He activates a small auxiliary auspex screen on the console. It flickers to life, running on the last dregs of internal battery power. A ship diagnostic appears. The text is blocky red. Warning hull integrity, 28% warning main power offline, warning propulsion, offline warning, life support offline, atmosphere contaminated, a new line of text scrolls. Crew vitals, the cogitator processes, crew vitals, 8%, 92% life signs terminated. Valthi stares at the number, 92%. He is the captain of a graveyard. He and a handful of survivors, scattered in the wreckage. The power is dying. The air is already thin. They are a coffin drifting in an uncharted sector. But they are out. They are free. Valthi, he slumps, a grim, bloody smile touching his lips. We won. And then he hears it. Faintly over the dead Vox link coming from the speaker on the console, a sound, a wet, high-pitched giggle. He. Valthi's blood turns to ice. His smile vanishes. He stares at the Vox grill. Pop goes the he. A small, cheerful, choking laugh. The sound of a nurgling. The translation had been a violent purge, but it had not been perfect. The ship's internal contamination, the plague. They were still here. Fade to black. AXT real space, unknown sector. Months later, the Dominus Fidelis is a ghost. It tumbles slowly through the void. A crust of ice and frozen vacuum has formed over its ravaged hull. It is a derelict, a silent floating tombstone. Its motion is disturbed. A new ship, vast and menacing, slides into view. It is a ship of the Inquisition. Sharp obsidian black its prow, an armored eagle. It bristles with lance batteries and torpedo tubes. It is the righteous censure. A single coded message is voxed from the inquisitorial ship. Inquisitor Vio, Dominus Fidelis, you have been found. Your distress call is 6 months old. We are registering. Residual. Imperium contamination. Prepare for compliance testing. Prepare for boarding. There is no reply but the hiss of static. Into Dominus Fidelis, navigator's helm control. The red emergency light is long dead. The chamber is frozen, lit only by the harsh white beams of the boarding party. The party consists of 4 figures in heavy crimson-painted power armor inquisitorial stormtroopers. They are led by a 5th figure, Inquisitor Locke. He wears no helmet. His face is augmented, one eye a cold blue glowing lens. He holds a massive power sword that hums in the cold. They stand before the helm. Captain Valthi is still there. He is frozen solid, a corpse, locked in the chair, his face a mask of gaunt, agonizing resolve. He is covered from head to foot in text. In his final dying hours, deafened by the silence and tormented by the distant giggling whispers, he had used his own combat knife to carve the entire litany of protection into his own skin. His blood is a frozen black-red tapestry of prayer. His last act of faith, Stormtrooper 1. His voice filtered mechanical inquisitor. The command and control. He is consecrated. Locke, his voice is a cold, synthesized rasp. He is desperate. The ship's log is a scream. He initiated a blind translation. No one survives a blind translation. Sane. He turns his blue lens, scanning the room. Where is the source of the other signal? And Geller Field Generatorium. Continuous. Locke's team advances through the ravaged ship. Their helmet lamps cut through the frozen, corrupted darkness. The walls are no longer fleshy, but they are scarred. The metal is warped, covered in a black, dried residue that looks like burned sin. They enter the generatorium, and they find him. Margos Bor is still there. He is not dead. He is a centerpiece, a throne of molten blasphemous metal and charred, recognizable flesh. He is part of the machine. The machine is part of him. The demonic Geller engine is cold, dark, silent. But Bor is alive. His single remaining organic eye, milky and blind, snaps open as their lights hit him. His fused metallic jaw cracks open. He doesn't speak. He lulls. A stream of corrupted binary, canter demonic hymn, a litany of machine heresy hisses from his broken vox. He is a living, singing relic of his own damnation. Stormtrooper 2, throne. Kill it. Locke raises a hand. Hold it. It is the field. It is the containment. It is still fighting. He looks at the screaming, singing half-machine. The will of the Omnissiah is terrible. Record it. Enti Dominus Fidelis mid-deck birthing. The final chamber. The source of the laughing. Locke kicks the fused-shut door open. The air is not frozen here. It is warm, humid. The room is lit by a sickly green phosphorescent glow. The slime, it's still here, and so are the nurglings. A dozen of them, fat and cheerful, are clustered in a corner. They are being worshipped. The survivors of the Dominus Fidelis, perhaps 30 people from the lower decks, are huddled in the center of the room. They are emaciated, draped in rags and filth. Their skin is covered in weeping boils and ecstatic self-inflicted wounds. They are cannibals. The bones of their former crewmates are piled neatly in a corner. When they see Locke, they don't scream. They hiss. They raise their makeshift clubs. One of them, a woman with no eyes, smiles. Survivor priestess. A wet, gurgling voice. Grandfather's gifts? More meat? More blessings? The little lords are so generous. The nurglings giggle and clap their tiny, filthy hands. Pop, pop gifts, he. The stormtroopers raise their hellguns. Inquisitor Locke watches his face, a mask of cold, profound disgust. He sees the whole picture. The dead captain, the damned Margos, the corrupted flock. The ship did not survive. It festered. Locke, he keys his vox, not to his men, but to his ship censure. This is Locke. He turns his back to the survivors. The Dominus Fidelis is declared perdita, unsalvageable. Contagion is absolute. XT real space continuous. The righteous censure hangs in the void, a predator. Locke VO sanction exterminatus, cyclonic torpedoes, full measure. Iant Dominus Fidelis mid-deck berthing. The stormtroopers look at Locke, confused. Stormtrooper 1, sir, our extraction? Locke, he draws his power sword. It ignites with a blue, hungry snap hiss. The only mercy the Emperor grants us now, trooper, is a clean death. We are as damned as they are. We have breathed the air. He looks at the charging, diseased cultists. Do not fear the fire. Fear the survival. For the Emperor. He charges. The stormtroopers open fire. The room explodes in a flash of white-hot flamer fuel and blue energy. EXT real space, continuous. From the belly of the inquisitorial cruiser, a single torpedo launches. It streaks silently toward the derelict. It impacts the Dominus Fidelis amidships. For a second, there is nothing. Then a silent internal flash. The ship is illuminated from within like a paper lantern. Every crack, every scar, every corrupted line, and it disintegrates. A cloud of superheated plasma and atomized metal expands, vaporizing the ship, the survivors, the demonic plague, the inquisitorial boarding party, and the screaming damned soul of Magospore. A new, clean, empty silence fills the void. The righteous censure turns its duty done. It leaves only the cold, distant stars and the final echoing truth of the voiceover. Voiceover, a final grim whisper. In the 41st millennium, there is no victory. There are only degrees of failure. We are taught to fear death in the warp, to be torn apart by the demon. The camera holds on the empty, star-filled void where the ship was the liar's. The true final horror is to survive it. Fade to black.